Most mines wait for disaster to strike before they fix what's broken. They scale fast during boom times, trying to catch as much upside as possible. The problem with that is costs scale disproportionately, and this can only be hidden by margins for so long. This reactive approach destroys sites and jobs. Today, I'll show you why the best time to improve operations is when times are good. Let me start with the dangerous pattern we've seen time and time again. When commodity prices go up, miners all prioritize the same thing: production. The only urgency becomes scaling throughput as fast as possible to capture maximum upside. Whilst there is logic in that, it's flawed. Revenue is prioritized over effectiveness and efficiency, and we know that every single inefficiency gets magnified when you scale, creating a ticking time bomb for when markets inevitably turn. As a result, we've consistently seen that costs scale disproportionately, masked by temporarily expanded margins. I live in Queensland, and last year we got hit by a tropical cyclone for the first time in 50 years. I've been through many weather events all over the globe, but this one was new to me. Thankfully, it mostly missed us. But in the lead up to the cyclone, warnings about being prepared and how to prepare were everywhere. It's too late to go out into the storm when it hits to try and secure furniture, to stock up on supplies, and this is true in all aspects of life. Business is no different. In mining's boom times, you have three massive advantages that disappear the moment crisis hits. First, you have cash flow to invest in real improvements. Second, you have time to implement changes properly. And third, you're not under pressure that forces you to cut muscle along with fat. Panic that drives poor decision. Toyota perfected this approach decades ago. While their competitors chased maximum output during boom periods, Toyota used high margin times to refine their production system. They invested in efficiency, standardized processes, and eliminated waste when they could afford to do it. When the GFC hit, their sales fell by 4%, compared to General Motors that fell 11%. They weren't forced into bankruptcy or bailouts like some of their competitors. In countries like Australia, they even came out with an expanded market share. They didn't just weather the storm, they used it as a competitive advantage. The lesson here is that even though the sun is shining, you should expect storm clouds in the future. Start viewing high margin periods as improvement opportunities, not just profit extraction phases. What we typically see is a focus on business improvement initiatives only during downturns, because that's when urgency to cut costs is the highest. Costs rise during the good times, but as commodity prices eventually retreat, margins inevitably get squeezed. When commodity prices crash, companies enter survival mode and make decisions that destroy long-term value. Bain & Company research shows that companies cutting costs reactively during downturns takes an average of 3.2 years to return to pre-crisis performance levels. How fast commodity prices fall, whether they take the stairs, escalator, or elevator down, determines how brutal cost-cutting becomes on mine sites. Gradual declines allow for measured responses. You can make strategic choices about what to cut and what to protect. But sharp crashes trigger panic. Too often, consultants are then instructed, and sometimes incentivized, to cut cost, regardless of long-term consequences. Critical capabilities get destroyed, institutional knowledge that was never captured by the system leaves. Ultimately, trust evaporates. And yes, this gives consultants a bad name, because they're often forced to implement strategies that they know will cause long-term operational damage. But no storm lasts forever. When darker skies once again turn blue, most mines struggle to ramp back up. They are forced to spend years and hundreds of millions of dollars to rebuild what they destroyed in months. It's organizational self-harm disguised as financial discipline. Those that can ramp up quickly or have been able to maintain a war chest during the downtime are able to go shopping, buying their competitors for a fraction of the price. So, how should you think about improvement that prevents this entire destructive cycle? The solution isn't improvement initiatives that go chasing after the silver bullets I've spoken about before. It's embedding continual improvement into day-to-day operations. This means that improvement thinking drives every decision, every day, regardless of market conditions. It's not something that you do, it's something that you are. Companies with embedded improvement cultures show 15% better cost performance during good times and 28% faster recovery during downturns, according to BCG. They don't just survive market cycles, they use them as a competitive advantage, like Toyota did. Amazon exemplifies this approach perfectly through their day one philosophy. They treat every quarter like both an opportunity and a potential crisis. During high growth periods, they optimize fulfillment networks and streamline operations. During slower periods, they improve algorithms and customer experience. Improvement never stops, regardless of external conditions, and that's why they have dominated through multiple economic cycles, whilst others have struggled. The companies that have the greatest long-term upside and minimize downturn risk understand that mining cycles are inevitable. Booms and busts will happen. The question isn't when they'll come. The question is, will you be ready? The best time to prepare for winter is summer. The best time to fix a roof is when it's dry, not pouring rain. The best time to improve operations is when margins are high and pressure is low. If you're not sure how you compare or where to start, use our free assessment tool to see how your organization compares to mining best practice and which areas you may need to start focusing on today, before it's too late.